Hi, family. Yes, so it's your girl here. Happy New Year. Happy New Year wherever you are. I know some of us crossed over before the others, but at the end of the day, we all crossed over, and that is the most important thing. From 2024, guys, we are in 2025, and all the glory we return them back to God because He has enabled us to see this awesome day. He's enabled us to see this beautiful new year, a year that we anticipate good things, a year that we anticipate God's doing, a year that we foresee great manifestation of God in every encounter that we're going to make this year. And so as we start this year, I just want you to know that you didn't cross over by your own wisdom. You didn't cross over by your own understanding. You didn't cross over by your own powers, but God above made you cross over. God above made you cross over by His grace, by His love, by His favor, by His mercy. He's enabled you cross over from 2024 to 2025, and all the glory we return back to Him. And so it's a beautiful morning. The sun is out and everyone is happy. We are all enjoying because it's not an easy thing. Celebrations of New Year started way long before we were born. It started long ago, when even in the Old Testament. And so as we celebrate the new year, one thing I always love to tell us as we start a new year, today is the 1st of January 2025. And so as we start over, one thing I love to tell us all is that let us remember God. Let us involve God. Tell God that God, this journey is not gonna be easy without you. Tell God that this journey from the 1st of January to the 31st of December 2025, it's not gonna be easy without His involvement. And that's why you are calling on Him to lead the way. You are calling on Him to show you the direction because you don't know where you're going. You don't know whether you're gonna wake up tomorrow. You don't know how things will unfold the next few minutes, but you are telling God that, God, I want you to lead the way. And so this year, I'm giving it a title that it is the year of new beginnings. It is the year that so many good things are going to happen in your life. It's the year that miracles are going to happen. It's the year that great opportunities that you have always thought of are going to happen. I love the number 5. And so most of the time, the number 5 reflects so many things in my life. And so I thank God because it's going to be a year that has a number 5 in it. And I know as I root into God this year, I want you also to root unto God and to tell God that this is my year. I know I've told you in the past, in several years in the past, that this is going to be my year. I told you 10 years ago, this is going to be my year. 5 years ago, this is going to be my year. Last year, I told you 2024 was going to be my year. And I'm here to tell you again, 2025 is going to be my year. And yes, God is going to take the lead. God is going to make it happen. And so wherever you are, this is one thing I want you to know. I want you to believe in yourself. And I want you to take charge and take control of everything that you do. Don't look at who loves you and who hates you. Don't look at the material things that we possess. Don't look at the worldly utter. Look at who is in the will, and that is our Father in heaven. And so as I say, this is going to be my year, I want you also to believe with me that it's going to be your year. And whatever thing that you have, the resolutions for this year, 2025, I know, let me remind you, if you haven't written them down, please take a paper, take a pen, put them down. The Bible tells us that when we put them down on stamping, God will stamp on them. There will be a rubber stamp. And when God stamp on these resolutions that we want happen, they will happen. God's own timing. We might give them a month. We might give them a year. We might give them several months. At the end of the day, it is the resolutions that we want God to help us achieve in the year 2025. And so put them down on a paper Pray about them. Close yourself in your bedroom and tell God that, God, I put these 1, 2, 3, 10, 20, 30 resolutions into your hands. And I want you, God, to help me succeed in them. And as we write down these resolutions, most of the time, I encourage us to put them down on the 31st of December so that when we cross over with them in our hands. But it's not late. You can still have your resolutions written at the beginning of the year and tell God that, God, I want you to lead the way. And as I put these resolutions down, I want you to make rubber stamp on them. And God, one after the other, may you help me achieve these resolutions. And since I was taught about putting them down on a piece of paper, I want to confirm with you all that it's always been achievable, because God always answer them. And for some reasons, if I look back to my resolutions of various years, I always find myself like taking almost everything that God has done. I always find myself at the 31st of December or the last month of the year. I always go back to my resolutions and look at them and see, what has happened. And so I always tick on them, and I find that because I placed them and put them on a tablet, just as God recommended us to do, it always happens. And so you have an evidence, you have a reference of what God has always done. And so this is a new year of new beginnings, of new things. And so I pray with you that may God lead you, may God direct you, may God see you through. I always refer myself to the book of Joel 2:28, and the Bible says, I will pour out my spirit on all generations, to the young, to the old, and to everyone else. So this year, may God pour his spirit unto you. May God pour his spirit unto your family, and may God make things new in your life. May God rejuvenate your spirit in his service. Let us remember to serve God. Yes, as you put your resolutions down, remember the first resolution should always be to serve God. Remember the first resolution in that paper of yours, in that tablet of yours, in that computer of yours is always to serve God. And just tell God that, God, I want to serve you with all that I have and with all that I can, because God will know that you are putting him first. You know, the Bible tells us, put him first and all other things shall be added unto you. And so when we remember to put his resolution is a priority, then God remembers us. So put his resolution as a priority, and at the end of the day, you will not regret. So I just want to wish you all a happy new year, filled with God's doing, God's grace, God's favor, and God's mercy. And just remember one thing: ask and it shall be given unto you, knock and the door shall open, seek and you'll find. At all times, remember this year to focus on God. Remember this year to make God. Tell God that, God, I want you to lead the way. Tell God that, God, I want you to show me the direction. Tell God that, God, I want you to take charge of everything. Take charge of my marriage. Take charge of my family. Take charge of my academics. Take charge. You know, when we allow God to take charge, everything happens, because it tells us the decrease that he may increase in you. So let us humble ourselves before God this year. Tell God to remove pride, remove jealousy, remove competition, remove anything that is of the negative nature in you, and make you who he wants you to be, because he loves you. This is your year. This is gonna be your year. Yes, it's my year. With my family, it's gonna be your year. So keep going. Keep tapping yourself in the back and tell yourself, this is my year. And I wish you all the blessings, the grace, the favor, and everything that God has in store for you. Remember, God has so much in store for you in the year 2025. Happy new year. May the blessings and grace of God follow you today and forevermore. I love you all.